have just some questions.
Okay, well,
So I
Judy
Judy Armstrong.
Armstrong.
I live on Denman. And I just didn't know, I heard different people representing, I'm hoping France representing the Denman Island Residents Association.
Seniors.
And your seniors, okay, so assume that everybody's here. I just was curious because I made a call the other day to the assessment authority about my property valuations. And I asked them why it was that there was such a drastic drop in assessment values. I'm sorry, this gentleman I'm talking to, I understand. Basically the answer was because of the ferries. The ferries have impacted the valuations of the land. And my consideration is about residents who made purchases of land at, reasonably expensive properties or built expensive properties, and yet our values are dropping based on the fact that the BC Ferries is either not providing a service, the service is not up to what it would have been if we had a continuing highway, as we always did, unlike Todd Stone makes announcement there was never a highway. Maybe he's just not old enough. So anyways, I just wondered, is there any consideration being given to all of the islands, I'm talking all coastal communities, seeking compensation for land value depreciation?
My dad tried to answer.
I don't know who you are, sir.
Sorry, I'm David Hendry. I'm the Director of Strategic Planning for Ferries.
Oh,
I used to look after still do to some extent, the property assessment process at BC Ferries. So
property assessment at BC Ferries, meaning
Yeah.
the property that you own or the property that I own?
the properties that BC Ferries leases ultimately.
Oh, okay.
But I know the process quite well. Did you get the person's name at BC Assessment who gave you that information?
I talked to probably the basic reception, and I have it called into the appraiser, and I left a message there, and I pretty much knew that was going to be the answer. Is that it has there is no doubt that the ferries have impacted land values.
The reason I ask is I'm very surprised that they would say that, and I'd like to get their name because I know some of the senior people at BC Assessment, and I'd like to follow that up.
Oh, okay. Well, I would like to follow it up too. I think that every landowner on any coastal community whose values are dropping due to the BC Ferries service should be considering a group pact to have that looked at.
Well, I can't...
I know you can't endorse that, but I'd love you to. But I mean, I'm just saying is that it must be a concern to many, many people.
Judy, I'll give you some information that's kind of outside this process, but might be of interest to other committee members. I'm on a committee of the Union of British Columbia Municipalities, which represents all the local governments in the province, and the Association of Bank of Ireland and Coastal Communities. We've hired somebody to do a socio-economic assessment of impacts of ferry service on communities and the region as a whole. And so that is one thing that this person will be looking into, because BC Ferries did do a study in, I think, the year 2000, looking at the economic impacts of ferry service. There's never been a follow-up. I know we've asked the province to do that kind of assessment in association with their policies and the cuts they've made. The province has not done that, so by default local governments are collectively doing that. That will then be information that local governments and other people can use for advocacy with the province in the absence of anybody else doing this work.
Okay, well, I apologize if I upset this gentleman here, David, because it wasn't really, it was just a question. I phoned to find out why it was certain things were incorrect on my assessment, which prompted me to call, and then I started to ask the question. And this lady's in real estate, and I'm just wondering, is it not, am I the only one that sees how many residences are for sale at rock bottom prices and not selling? Is that correct, Donna? Is that I mean, I know that there were 16, so 16 sold on Denman last year in 2013.
It was 10 on Burby, and it was the lowest in 11 years.
Yes, so is that not impacting not only the communities,
But absolutely, but it's, you know, for me to actually speak on it right here is saying that specifically Ferries related to this.
no, I'm not saying this specifically, but it certainly is the big
It's a key, it
impact.
is an indicator.
So just to give you an idea what we do, this Ferry Advisory Committee, we kind of work at a little bit of a lower level than we provide advice to BC Ferries with respect to the service and
Yeah,
natural
okay,
routes.
yeah,
There's an issue, I guess, to take up with local government, with the Residents Association.
Yeah.
It's more involved in lobbying the province. But I said this information that our consultant is collecting
Yeah.
was going to look at property values, sales of properties, and so on. It's always hard to link the cause and effect.
yes.
But if you see one thing happening while something's going on, you maybe can suppose there's a connection, but it's very hard to definitively say drop in property values is a result of ferries. All you can say is the two seem to be happening at the same time.
Yes.
But this is really outside the mandate of this particular
Well,
committee.
that is true, and I told you when I walked in that I thought I was in the wrong meeting, because I saw all these people here and I'm thinking, okay, somebody's gonna bring this up, surely somebody's going to bring this up, but I thought that that was maybe not
Definitely
the
an
right
issue
place.
for the province.
Well, I
So
think.
do you have any other questions while you're here? Because we've got
Nope.
quite a lot to do with
Thank you.
So anyway, I appreciate you highlighting this, and I will mention it to the consultant who's working for us so that he can maybe look a little deeper into what information he can glean with respect to
Yeah.
assessments.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
my apologies for
No,
crashing
no,
a
no.
private party.
No, we invite the public to
It's a
come.
public meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, they did say that. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, I